Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Bert Alcorn here with Anthem Ventura.
Matt Larson, Anthem Thousand Oaks.
And Kevin Bailey, Anthem Camarillo.
All right, so this is the last of 3 videos leading up to Celebrate Generosity. So in theory, you're watching this, and less than 2 days later, we get to celebrate generosity, which is awesome. But in each one of these 3 videos, we've been trying to unpack a little bit of the why and how and where we are giving and stewarding our financial resources. And so we've talked about global generosity and some of the ministries and impact we get to have in Thailand and Nepal and beyond. We've talked the reproducing church and got to highlight some of the planters and new church plants we get to invest in this year. And today we're talking about local generosity.
Yeah, when you take a look at the scriptures and you can kind of see that God's heart is for his people to have an immediate impact on the people closest to them, like the neighborhoods, the communities, the city, as we talked about in Jeremiah 29, just right around. So you look at the Torah, and God says to the farming nation of Israel, hey, I want you to only, what is it called? Farm your crop to not the edges. You want you to leave a 10% strip around the outer edge, because I want the sojourner and the poor to be able to come and eat freely from your acreage. Yeah. And that's a picture of God's heart for generosity. And then in the book of James, we see this call that true religion, it actually cares for the widow and the orphan. This idea of look, when we are devoted to God, it translates to having a heartbeat for those that cannot take care of themselves for whatever reason. And so that puts a burden on us as churches to say, we want to look right around us and what are the issues in our city, what are the issues in our cities that we can have a direct impact on through generosity. And that's caused us each to look differently. And the local initiative is a unique one because each church gets to select how to invest those resources. We don't pick one for the whole family of churches, but each church takes a look at some local opportunities and considers how can we sow into these things right around us. So we want to take a few minutes and actually just kind of walk through examples, because in TO, we do 3. You guys are doing 1. You guys are looking at a couple. So there's opportunities for us to share all of those stories, and we'll do that in videos and other places. But for today, we just wanted to each give an example from each church. You want to start?
In Ventura, when we came out, coming up on 5 years, we'll be celebrating 5 years, by the way, as of this Celebrate Generosity, which is wild. But as we went out and with our early team began seeing how we could meet tangible needs here in our city and particularly downtown where we were planted. And if you've ever been to Ventura, you know this, the obvious concern for those without homes and how to care for and support those who are struggling with houselessness and how to not just fix the immediate problem, but cultivate longer sustainable patterns of health and to help tap into a larger solution here. And we very quickly got connected with the City Center, which does just that. They're the only homelessness support program in Ventura that's not government funded. They exist exclusively on the donations from churches and individuals that will help get people on their feet and propel them towards sustainable life patterns. And I was just over there doing something, and I got told a story of one of the most recent graduates, because part of how they are doing mentorship and training is around finances as well. And so this family who just graduated, while they were living at the city center, paid off $25,000 of debt and put $22,000 into a savings account and moved into a new apartment. And these are people who previously homeless a year and a half before. And they not only go out with a greater sense of financial stability, but they are discipled in the way of Jesus. It's just absolutely beautiful.
That's super cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, for us, there's one of the main ways in which we've kind of engaged locally. We fell in love with Zoe and the story that God's been writing there. And they have a location here called Zoe LA, and a gal named Vicky runs it, and she is just amazing. And so they, for the last, I think, 4 years now, they've been working on a location here in LA, or the greater LA area. And they have been working to try and get permits, to get funding, to help provide a space for girls who are rescued out of trafficking situations locally, where they can receive all the care they need, from emotional, physical, spiritual. All of those needs a place for housing and a place for education, all of that to take place. And by God's grace, they're making large steps towards that, as they've now, not only have they broken ground on the property, they've now put up their first building, and I believe soon are welcoming in some of their first tenants. And so it's been an incredible story. So we participate in a Zoe walk every year in November. Pay attention for more information around that. But it's been a great way for us to engage there. And I do just want to say too that all of us, we're continuing to look for more ways to invest right next door in our own cities. And so even now, we want to be encouraging you guys. What are you guys seeing? What is God doing? How is he stirring? And we want to be a part of that too. And so if there's opportunities that come your way, feel free to share them with us and your community groups, because we want to engage in helping bless and serve our cities right here, right where we're at.
In Anthem TO, we've taken a look at just some opportunities. We know we want to be involved in foster care, and we do agree with what Kevin's doing with Zoe LA, and we're actually partnering with them as well. But this idea of how can we actually contribute in the foster care arena, and there's a unique opportunity with an organization called James Storehouse. James Storehouse was started by the DeWitts here in Newbury Park. They do a great job of supporting and providing resources for, like physical, tangible resources for both kids in the foster care system and families that are taking in kids in the foster care system. They've personally had an impact on us. When we were foster parents, we were able to go there and get equipped with a car seat and a number of just elements that we needed to add a sixth kid to our family. And they gave it to us like day of. We drove over there. And then what was really cool is when we were able to hand that young boy over to his biological uncle, we were able to go with his uncle over to James Storehouse and to actually walk through there with him. And he could not believe how they were loading him up with what he needed to help take care of his nephew. It was such an exciting thing to see the gospel advance in that kind of a way, just where Jesus is on display through ridiculous generosity to take care of a broken situation. It's kind of a pretty amazing thing. And so we love being a part of that. That's just one of the examples of something that we're given to in Thousand Oaks. But I do love the opportunity to partner with James Storehouse.
I think one of the really cool things about local generosity is we're not just giving money, we're building relationships. Yeah. And so with even all these organizations that we're connected to here in Ventura and LA County, there's opportunity for you to actually go and participate. That's right. There's opportunity for you to go and participate in the Zoe Walk and be a part of what's happening at their facility. There's opportunity for you to volunteer at James Storehouse. There's opportunity for you to be a mentor and volunteer with the City Center. Like, it's not just writing a check and stories over. It's actually we as a church and individuals in the church get to forge these longer lasting partnerships with people who are doing amazing compassion and justice work here in our cities.
That is going to be part of the challenge with any kind of local generosity. Is it can be a lot easier to write a check than it can be to actually put our lives on the line to go and give of ourselves, and in unique ways, like going to Zoe and being a part of the operations or the construction or the different things that are happening there, the administration. There's so many elements of that, or being able to engage with the city center and whatever opportunities are there, or through James Storehouse or 3FN. Those are really, it's challenging. Because giving our time can be one of the hardest things. We love giving money because we know that there's a seed there. There's something that we want to, we want to be generous with a financial gift. And that's why we do celebrate generosity. But we don't want our culture of generosity to stop at just, like Bert said, writing a check. We want
it's
to
like the entrance in.
Yeah. It is. It's the buy-in, the poker game of life.
There it is.
I don't know why that made sense to me, but it did. Yeah. So that's our local generosity. We're really looking forward to partnering with these organizations and being able to be a part of this story in our local communities. And we're so grateful for you guys. We're looking forward to celebrate generosity together in just a matter of days. And while we will be doing it as individual churches this year, this video is an attempt to kind of bring the family of churches together to remind you guys at home. This is an effort that God's put on our collective hearts, and we love being able to do this together.
Yeah, just however you're gathering to celebrate generosity in a parking lot, in a backyard, in a Zoom room, know that you are a part of something much bigger than yourself and much bigger than that local context. And this is a beautiful opportunity to remember that.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you soon.